Alright, good day and welcome. Just came outside. I think my camera might have fogged up because the air conditioner's on inside. It's quite warm. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll grab this mighty steed this morning. Alright guys, I watched the Tour de France, the first leg of the race kind of thing. And they finished 184 kilometers in just a little under 4 hours. Yeah.
You want to check to see if she has black cherry ice cream, in the big container?
Yeah.
Just check to see, I'll get it after if she has
Yeah,
it.
black cherry? Yeah, okay. Oh, black cherry ice cream, that's pretty good. You know the weather gets hot when my dad starts getting ice cream. Yeah. Yeah, so they finished 184 kilometers on stage one of the race. And they did it in just a little under 4 hours. There was a couple of dropouts out of the race. Get attacked by a leaf. A couple of dropouts out of the race. But it was like one guy, I felt bad for him because I don't know how, you don't see how he spun out, but he ended up on his back pretty bad, him and another guy. And he jumped back into the race. But like you could tell the guy was hurting bad. He had to throw the towel. He was the first guy out of the eliminated because he couldn't carry on. And then there was a really spectacular two-man crash going for the polka dot shirt for the hill climber, King of the Hill. And what was the guy's last name? It was like Martez or something like that, or whatever it was. Anyway. The two guys were pretty much neck and neck, and when he went to throw the bike, because it was on like light cobblestone, he got the bike past, he won, but his back wheel slipped out and it took out the two of them, so they just both of them rolling on the ground. Then after that they were like the peloton caught up to them, and by that time they're like, okay, they're back. But their goal was to be the king of the, like, there's different trophies and the different shirts that you win, right? And king of the hill is like the not the show, but the actual the king of the hill champion. Like it's a big prize. It's a good sized prize. I wasn't sure who was going to win the yellow shirt, the actual, like the main, the main winner, right? Which is the biggest prize. But the race started out for a good 75 kilometers. You had this American guy pretty much leading the pace. The guy, like he just looked so American. He had his mullet and everything, like the most unique guy there anyway. So he was holding the pace, and then I don't know if they were sacrificing him or whatever, but I'm like, you don't want to be out there that early, because if you are, you're gonna be drained, right? But he finished in the top 10 anyway, so that team did really well. And yeah, so like the sprint at the end was pretty good, but the race was a pretty good race. There was a couple of crashes, a lot of tire blowouts, which could be subjects of a future video for sure, about like tire blowouts and stuff like that, which I don't like talking about that while I'm riding. Yes, I do have a tire patch kit. There you go. But where it is, I have to find it. I have it somewhere though. I gotta adjust my seat again. I got it too far forward. The other thing was, the takeaway from the race was like just watching these guys race. Like I haven't watched a Tour de France race since the 90s. So like lots has changed, but it's still the same kind of race, you know what I mean? Like it changes, but it doesn't. Gotta get over there. Oh, geez, look at all that traffic. Hey. Better not get run over here. Let's take a quick detour before going to the store. Lovely morning. See, that was a French guy. Yep. It's an English guy, you get a big conversation out of it. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, hey, a dog. You got their dog in there? I haven't seen Ricky in a while. He moved to town, so we don't see him too much. Guy that lives there. Technically, he's my neighbor. Man, did that ever grow up in a short amount of time? Man, you don't cut your fields, or like they used to have all kinds of horses. Like the tree line here, holy jeez, it just skyrocketed in the past couple of years. Need to get some horses in there or something. Start doing some chewing. So yeah, I'm gonna work on my car today. So the title of the video, could this bike make the Tour de France? Okay, so they did an average speed like in the 50 like it was like 49 kilometers or 48 kilometers an hour. This thing will never do that. But it might do half of that, right? So basically my 160 kilometer or 100 mile challenge on this, which I'm not going to do, but it could be done because I could keep an average cadence of like say 18 to 20 kilometers an hour. I would do it under the 10 hours on this, right? But a more interesting question, you know, could this do the 184 kilometers, say 184 kilometers on this bike, the Tour de France on this bike, just because of all the hills they had to climb and everything like that. And the route is everything, right? So I would pick a route obviously with the least amount of hills for this thing to do that kind of distance. But let's say it was the actual Tour de France. It would probably take me with this bike probably to cover that probably 20 hours just because of the hills. But it's hard to say, maybe less, well, maybe 16 hours because there's some pretty good flats, downhill flats where the guy crossed the finish line on the sprint at 71 kilometers an hour. This will never hit that, but it's just too heavy. You know what I mean? Yeah, weight does, I talk about weight on a bicycle all the time because like you have to take something like this and try it to see what I mean. Like if you got a bike that's, okay, say 30 pounds, okay, which is too heavy. It's too heavy. Okay, so 30 pounds is too heavy, right? It's too heavy for long distances because as soon as you hit any sort of, I'll get the shade here, hit any sort of like that. We'll have a look at this prestigious Bertha. I got bags with me today because I got to give some to the store. Yeah, weight even on the level, like say like the level grade there's a bit of a camphor to it. And in that camphor, you see the truck slowly going uphill now. You'll slow down with something this heavy. Like this thing is about 60 some odd pounds, right? Could be close to 70, who knows? Like, trust me. For me, coming in from the neighboring town, 11 kilometers, well, and then plus my client, probably about 13, 14 kilometers, whatever it is, 12 to 13 kilometers, whatever it is, total trip one way. Doing that in 50 minutes on this is impressive, especially at my age and everything like that. That's impressive. Now, at 20, I could probably do that trip in 45 minutes on this thing. But that would be like the equivalent of taking the Tour de France winner's bike from yesterday, from the making of this video, on stage 1, taking that bike, running it at sprinting for as hard as you can for say 2 hours. Like that's the effort level. It's almost impossible. Like you can't maintain speed easily, because like the second you stop pedaling with a bike like this, the weight slows you right down. Even on a slight downhill grade, you'll slow down. Like it's you know, like you won't slow down much, but it won't pick up speed. Where like on the light road bikes, you start going down a hill and you just start the momentum just takes you. You know what I mean? Because you have 2 things working for you. Number 1, you're lighter, so your power stroke goes further. Number 2, you know, the bike's more aero. And number 3, your power to weight ratio is better. So that's what gets you on this. So that's why I like that 160 kilometer challenge for something like this. Maybe you'd do it for charity or something like that. It would be interesting, a bike in this stature, to make it under 10 hours, 100 miles, right? So this bike cruises at approximately 10 miles per hour on an average level, 16 kilometers an hour. That seems to be the average, 16 to 17 kilometers an hour. But that's like with no sprinting or nothing. That's why I say it could be done in 10 hours. But depends on it. If you got like, if I go this way, for example, and I head towards, say, Maniwaki, it's mostly flat, but there's a few hills. If I go this way and then I go towards Ottawa, which is 100